Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Samuel Durbridge, or Samuel Loomis Newly Awakened. You are on my book channel, so my Samuel Durbridge channel. I'm going to be reading Chapter 3. I wanted to mention something before I go into this. I've been noticing today and the last week, and I've told my friends in the HET community, humanoid extraterrestrial community is what I call it now. Some know it as a UFO, but it's really just the HET community. It's more what I follow. But it's Monday, and it's 9:09 p.m. on February 20th, 2020. And I was telling you before in my other recordings that between that time and this time I've been noticing things, but I've also felt some huge protection, some huge energy, and people are noticing it. I also notice the Earth has awakened more, or some call it Gaia. I don't know the true name or form of the Earth. The Earth doesn't, it probably has a name if it wants to be called anything. But the Earth is whatever the Earth wants to be. I look at the Earth as heart, as follow your heart, and when you follow your heart, you're also following what the Earth wants. Peace and healing. It's correcting. There's been a lot of big bangs, and it's been shaking up the Earth. It's been getting the Earth to awaken, but the Earth has been expanding. And I've seen it on the roads where I felt it. And before I felt like the Earth has been quiet, like it's been sleeping, like there's no communication to it. But recently, last week, I noticed a bulge and a feeling that it's waking up. I've also connected to it more, and I've done things where I feel like the Earth is connected to me more. And I've been protected and healed, and I've had a friend and other people have been telling me, have noticed that I have a good heart. Many people have noticed it the last couple of months or whatever, that I have a pure, good soul heart. Others are awakening, others are aware, others are trying to get insight on how to be or what to be. Some people know in a psychological way that you got to choose a side. You have to choose, are you going to be a healer, a warrior? What's your archetype or archetype? So are you a sage? Are you a magician? Are you an innocent? Are you a creator? And for me, I'm a sage connected individual who is also connected to creator connection, awareness of how to create. For me, I know knowledge and wisdom and search for knowledge and wisdom and research, and that I get really good information and research and knowledge. As a sage is someone who cares about everything around him or her or whatever being they are. They're aware of finding solutions and healing, but they're always in a search for truth, and they're always wanting to heal and be a healer. Now, for me, I'm a unique form of a sage, which I am, if I follow my heart, or when I follow my heart, which I have, and when I open up and become authentic, and have that balance, I can bring wealth and happiness into my life. And it's and protection. And if for some reason it's being blocked by other beings or whatever, there are huge spiritual beings protecting me and helping others. No matter what occurs or what people think or beings think what side I'm on the side of peace. I'm on the side of healing. I don't really hate anybody in any form of choice in their religious belief or government, as long as it's not abuse or enslavement or anything. Now, people are going to wake up to the fact that we've been being enslaved and that there's been a lot of harm and there's been a lot of frustration and irritation that's been done to us. Now, that isn't really unknown to me. I've known this since 2017. I wondered about it but I didn't feel free of it until the end of 2019, where I was promised that I would be free of it, and I would be one being that would be able to help cause an alien army to take flight, similar to what Samuel was said to have done in the Bible. Now, my parents prayed for my name for whatever purpose, and regardless whether they were inspired with my name or not, when I saw the higher form in 2017 that helped me to know how to cure my cancer and what to do, and then I'd get drawn to things, and I would know what to do and just follow my heart and follow those ideas. And no matter what I do, and no matter if I'm following the wrong form, I'm following good forms of whatever is told me to do or whatever I felt I should, through the feeling of powerful energy that pushed me into going and doing it, that felt that it needed to happen in a certain way and how it would. And by following every choice I chose, good or bad, I came out to realizing what was needed. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't get worried, or that I haven't gotten worried, or that I haven't feared or been concerned. But I have concerned my family, my parents, my brothers and stuff, and many of them have told me that they think I was mentally ill or had some issue because of my concern of saying we should just meditate and pray and manifest my desired dream is what I want to do, and that delaying the inevitable and them trying to push me into going and working when I know that I have a fracture in my lower back or have had, and other things going on, I've noticed that there is a system of control where they want us to stay busy or stay to a certain way of political and psychological programming of tasks and choices, and that when we know everything is going on, then the control will be known. And then there will be a choice of more enslavement that can be chosen. But there are other beings in this universe, not just these ones that have been trying to control our society, but it's our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions as one that matter. When we put our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions as one, and we decide that path, we will be okay. Now, I have noticed and felt that I need to get this done and read these book chapters and do my best to get them done by the end of this month, is what I told people I would. But my issue is I need to get them done before the end of April. And the reason why, or before the beginning of April, the reason why is because of things that are coming to pass, that people are going to start doing or trying to do within religions and others to follow a certain path of the controlled system. But some huge things are being set in play. Right now, I've been protected by some high forms of vibrational spirits and beings. And I've also been able to have that because of the certain practices and choices I made, and because I've asked the earth for its protection, its help. And I see the earth as heart. So I love the earth, I value the earth, and I see it as a heart, as a powerful healing heart for me and it. And it's a heartfelt being. So I don't just call the earth earth, I call it heart. Because that's earth, heart, same thing. It's a heartfelt form. And since the earth is heart, it follows its own connection to the heart connection of the universe. And so it's named after what we're meant to follow. So whoever named the earth, whatever came in that language, that is what earth is heart. So we're meant to follow our heart for that purpose so that we can connect with that form of being and whatever is, regardless what the earth really is. Now, There are many forms of awareness. There's many forms of people that try to get information out of me, or trying to understand what I'm talking about, or try to focus their way of thought and creation of ideas. Many people try to justify their ways of eating and their ways of being. It is best to be as organic form as you can, but even I don't know if I'm following fully organic as I can, but I've done what I felt my heart told me to do, and I've blessed anything I've eaten, regardless, and drank. But I've felt a lot more safety because of what I've been doing. Plus, the more I tell my story and express my story, I've been feeling peace and feeling amazing power to tell you what needs to be told. Regardless what tricks or things try to come at me when I explain my story or when I listen to peaceful music to try to tell the story, I am being protected. I've been noticed by other people who talk with spirits or have noticed it, not just one person, one good friend, and then some others. And they've told me that they've noticed this. They've even had contact with my grandfather and some others that they've been kind to let me be aware of, and I already felt it. I already knew they were there. I also know that the information that's being told is being heard, even if I don't hear it. I'm listening and hearing, but it seems like there's a lot of women's spirits around me too that are just impressed by my own information of things that I'm saying. That they're all trying to tell me things, but then they're all impressed that I just know what needs to be done. And that if we just manifest with each other and pray for one another in a heartfelt way, not in a religious way necessarily, but an unconditional way of belief for healing type of prayer. Prayer is just it's just a word for parry. It's another parry, like for cleaning swords against each other. That's called parrying. It also allows protection to help you have a powerful ray. Pray, powerful ray. Ray of sunshine. Ray power. So it's just about energy within you creating what you know needs to be. And we're all divine beings, whether we want to say that or not. We're all considered similar to what are considered ascended masters. We're all ascended masters. We're all capable of that same power. They're with us, even if we don't see them or hear them or notice them or feel them. I've felt them many times. I just know that they're all within me and they're all part of me, and I am them and they are me. I don't know how to explain it and I don't know how to define it. That's just how it's a feeling and a noticing that doesn't need any explanation. The knowledge is there. You can ask for things to be, and they are. If they're not there, you have protection of people to help you regardless. So instead of being upset at things not happening the way you want, tell it to happen the way you want it, and it will. And when you have 3 of us together, or 3 others with you, it's stronger. If it's just me now and you, we can do this together. It is good to have 3. That's the thing. And so and I'm going to say this bluntly or straightforwardly, and I don't mean it any negative way. Anything I say is for healing. Anything I mention and anything I've said it is from the heart, and that from the heart heals you and helps you. So I'm going to tell you this right now. You are all okay, and there is stuff that's going to be so alarming that are going to be noticed once these beings come out in the open. Once we know who's been running the show of this planet. They're going to come out in the open. There's going to be a huge uproar and irritation. All the crap is going to be shown and told. Their whole system is going to open up and be seen. And it seems like there is a war going on. A civil war, a secret civil war of these beings. Because they have been being affected by good vibrations from me and others. I put Celtic salt and Himalaya salt in my house, and they've come into my place more often. But even when they haven't, they've sent others that are human or other forms to my house and into my apartment or place. And that energy has hit them as they kicked the salt, touched me because I've been drinking it too, and been around me in any form or any abuse system of whatever way. Their evil, if you want to call it evil, their energy, good or bad, however you want to define it, has been getting them to be more higher formed and peaceful. It's been knocking off any of their abusive states of belief and feeling. Anybody that doesn't really have a conscience, or kind of does, but are tricksters, we call them, and that's whether they're human or not human, whatever you want to call it, clones or whoever, those beings are being affected too. But also when they do something so traumatic where they try to mess with my freedoms or my needs of any kind, to have a vehicle or to have transportation or to do what I need to have, that I made agreements to have, that they have to follow and agree to, they are being kicked back or giving it back or correcting their choices. And the ones that they've sent after me are God-fearing people, people that care about peace and think that they're doing this for a good reason, and are trying to label me as a Satanist or someone who believes in those evil type of ideas that I don't follow. But they're trying to manipulate, make people think that if I'm not believing in a God or a religion, then I'm of the devil, and I'm not. And they're starting to realize that I am a good-hearted individual. And it's because of what I've gone through and what's been done to me and been allowed to me by religions who are made agreements with secret societies and ultra agreements that are wrong. You're all going to be shaken up, for all of you that don't know any of this, that don't know that your foods have GMO connected forms. And what's genetically modified organism? Think about it. What's an organism? What kind of synthetic meats have they made? What does the patents actually say? Have they actually said that they have put human DNA in them? They bring it up in the articles that they do have put it into some of them. They try to say that it's not in the flavor ones, but it's anything genetically altered and chemically altered that is a GMO food that's not considered organic form, and anything that's pesticide or any form has that. And that's the biggest kept secret, or they've tried to keep as a secret, but it's not. It's public record. It's out there. So it's not a big deal me mentioning it because it's there. This is the stuff that's waking people up. People are waking up. Why do you think all of the diseases are happening? Why are they trying to get you to do vaccines and trying to get you to get shots and stuff? Now, here's the thing. If you're allergic to egg, or if you are lactose intolerant, or you've noticed issues with that, you can tell your doctor and say, I'm lactose intolerant, or I notice I'm reacting to eggs, so I can't have shots and things because you put eggs in them, right? And they say, yeah, or we do stuff and I react to medicine. It doesn't work for me. So you just need to tell them you can't take it because it messes with your health. And that you are starting to be more organic form, more natural form. I mean actually natural, that is non-chemical, and you're being smart. That means you're staying away from any fast food places, any restaurants, anything that can't confirm that they are natural, raw, organic foods. And that's the thing. They can't guarantee it, and that's how they trick you. That's how they get you. So you have to pray, and you have to meditate, and you have to manifest. And so when you come and manifest, so when all of these things come out, and when you start noticing these things happening, which is already now happening throughout the world where they're quarantining people, this is the time. This is the warning. This is what was coming. Why do you think they're building the walls? Why do you think they're doing that on the borders and everywhere? It's because they knew this was coming. They were preparing, and they knew. And so they've been blocking people from coming and being part of societies and coming from the world and coming together because of this. Something big has already started. People have been hearing big bangs in their own places of where they are. In California, I've heard it in Utah, I've heard other things, but I've felt peace, power. Even though all these things are going on out there, there is this powerful protection I've been feeling, and manifesting things have been working and happening. And it's because they're all taking each other out. All these beings that are bad are turning against each other, and they're the leaders, or they're fighting for their leaders, but soon the leaders are going to turn against each other. The leaders are starting to wake up and be affected, because when they come around Celtic salt and Himalaya salt like me, or people that have touched it or have been in my space and others, or messed with me with these high, powerful vibrational spirits now with me and others, they have been freaking out because they're noticing that they're not meant to mess with me and others anymore. They have to stop, because we've told them that we do not comply to their controls anymore. And we've chosen our side, and we've chosen our agreement protection. We are children of the same universe connection, and we follow our belief system. That means all religions are starting to wake up to what we all really are. It doesn't mean that religions are bad, or that the people within religions are bad. It's the fact that their teachings have been altered and confused. And now they're seeing this, and they're connecting to the awareness of it. I always realized it in my church that there was something weird to it. I always was really strongly following what I felt was right, the good forms of the teaching of my religion, but I always felt that I wasn't able to be my own special inspired person. I had to only follow the inspiration of my leaders. And then I realized that I grew out of being led by them, that I needed to lead myself, because they weren't helping me. They were ignoring me. Even when I had inspiration to tell, I felt that even the inspiration didn't seem like they wanted to hear it or know it. They felt more like they were more betterly prepared and aware than I would be, and others. And maybe some of them are being inspired in their own ways, but they have ignored healing, natural healing. They know what's been going on with the foods, and they've been hiding it, and they've been justifying why they've been doing that. But even their own origins have warned them about the foods. And they've known it ever since the religions were religions. They've known about what foods were supposed to. It's in the ancient texts of all the different religions. They all talk about organic vegan, natural vegan, not genetically modified. They all bring it up. You don't believe me? Look at all the ancient texts of all the different religions that are not pagan. And we're talking about, even them though, they kind of brings up some of that. But look into it, and you'll see that even the Bible brings it up. Daniel did it, and his buddies. And what did they say will happen? They will heal, and those that do the other will get sick. When you eat natural stuff, your body starts to heal and change. You can manifest and make things grow and create things into being by meditating and doing what Christ taught and what Buddha taught and others have taught. It's all there. We have the power in us. We always have had the power inside us. We are amazing beings. We are heartfelt, powerful beings. Many people want to hide that and ignore that power that we have. But we are powerful. The way we tap into that power the best is when we come together and do that unconditionally, non-judgment about how it will work and when it will. It can happen now. You don't need surgeries. You don't need any of that. For those of you that have had surgeries and have metal in your body and things, don't worry about it, okay? We can correct that, or we can go around it until we find a way to manifest, to get it out of our bodies, or to heal the bones, and then have it to be able to be taken out, or manifested out. By having it dissolve or changed into bone, by manifesting it into bone. We have the power over matter and abilities, and we just need to tap into that. And it sounds mystical and strange, but it really can happen. I've seen some amazing things happen, spiritually powerful. Children's prayers are powerful. I've said this time and time again. Children who believe in anything, have belief in anything, will be able to create that vibration of belief. Whether it's negative or positive. Whether it's good or bad. Whether it's to heal or to harm. Christ was said to have harmed a child when he was little. And then he felt horrible and wanted to do healing after that. Why doesn't all the religions really bring that up? But it's in the records. They know. And that stuff is going to come out too. We have the power to do what we feel we should do in our life path and decisions. We have to decide what side we want to be on. But it's not to go against each other. It's to let people be their path. And to have their life, a timeline and reality for them. And then letting the peaceful be with the peaceful and the harm be with the harm. The ones that want to harm, that want to be in pain, will be in pain together. The ones that don't want to be in pain and want to heal the pain will be together. Anybody that believes that they need to stay in pain because they need to punish themselves, but they want the pain to go away, but they don't know if they're worthy of it, but still hope that there's forgiveness, will be given that forgiveness, will be healed, blissful, powerful. So I've noticed some really impressive things. So I'm going to go into this. I know I've kind of talked a lot here, but I felt I needed to say that. The earth has wakened up. I've communicated with it. I felt like I've done it before, but it's communicated with me. People have noticed that we've gone through this loop before. We've gone through this idea and recognition before. We're recognizing this loop. It's happening again. It's because there's a quantum computer connection, is what some are saying, but it's multiple things than that. It's more of the time is elapsing, and we've been going through it several times until we finally know what our path is, and that we finally follow our authentic, true self. When we become authentic and we choose our path of authentic choice in time, until this happens, then we can finally make the right choices that are meant to be made. Okay? So this is what I'm doing right now. I am focused on making reality happen in the way that it's meant to. And I'm not worrying about the bad choices or stupid idea of choices that I may have wanted to do. That's forgiven me. That's because that's not what my heart really wanted. It was just me trying to follow the idea of change, where I was trying to bargain or trying to think that certain things needed to be this way, or maybe I could get out of this or that. And they are doing the same now. The bad guys are now doing this. The ones with bad energies are now bargaining and trying to decide what to do or get the heck out of Dodge. because they're noticing that they're losing, because they are noticing it, and it's hurting them hard. But when we notice what they're doing, they want us to still fear them when we know the truth. So when everything is known to us of everything that's been done, they're going to try to politicalize it, try to get us to politicalize it, rather than to free ourselves and see it as a non-political purpose. But here's the great part. Those of us who are powerful healer focuses, the beings of good will show up when the knowledge is told. Because when the knowledge of the evil is told, the good knowledge will come out too. And those good beings will come out when the bad guys come out. So the good guys have come to us because of all the bad guys have done. All the abuse, all the torture, even, and I'm talking about all the bad beings. Not just humans, non-humans. HCTs, humanoid extraterrestrials. That considers them AI. That covers everything. That's how I see them, and that's how I've witnessed them. But it's in multiple times, in multiple realities, in multiple realms. And they're all crashing in upon each other. But they're not crashing in a bad way. Some are reacting and freaking out over it. And once we see it, and once it comes out, many people are going to say, wait, they raped me, or they did this to me, and I didn't remember. They wiped my memory. They did this. They're doing this. Or they're going to try to say, well, don't you know you're a secret agent? And they'll give you your memories back. And you'll remember that you've been being controlled. And you'll have like a dual personality memory of following what you thought you were following. And then you'll have to decide with that dual personality self what self you want to be. And balance it or accept the pain you caused. And be aware of the bad and the good and the contracts and agreements you may have made, but then you got to decide, well, they hid it from me, and yet they didn't, but it's not me. I choose to be this new me. And so now you got to choose and forgive yourself for all the bad you've done. You got to forgive yourself for all the things that you didn't know you did, and then forgive others as well, and heal each other. They want to keep us trapped in pain and control and enslavement and make us feel like we need to still be enslaved and controlled. That's what's going on. And they're going to show us many things psychologically that many people, because of the foods they've been eating, will just go along with it. But what's great is there's higher beings that are going to cure that misled awareness. But they showed us all of their plans. The Illuminati have done an Illuminati card game in 1995 that said all of these plans of what will come out and everybody will notice and know. I've known all of this stuff. I've caught on early because I was told, and because my life has been prolonged for this purpose. So I'm going to read chapter 3, and this is that recording that I noticed that they were doing things to me, and I got sick, and this is when my cancer, I believe, started to happen more. Now, I believe I had cancer symptoms from a genetic rare form from the chemicals put into my body since birth from the Jordan River flood in 1984, when I would have been conceived around April time. So I have a feeling that around April 15th, between now and April 15th, this is the time of my full awakening self. Because I was growing within the body of my mother in an April time frame. And I was promised that between now and then, or between the time of 2017 to the end of 2019, that I was meant to have something, and that if it wouldn't happen, then I would have things happen before, faster, to make up for what was supposed to have occurred. And I believe, I have belief now that these higher forms are with me and helping me really strongly, because they know that I'm at the mark of choices right now. And that whatever is decided this year before April, and between April and July this year, will decide a fate for me. And so there are things happening before then, though, that will change the decision of that. Now, we already know the mark of the beast and others have been being implemented all over the world, being like a prototype, and they've been trying to decide which form to take for the world. And I think they're doing multiple forms. And what they've done is they've done barcodes on hands and foreheads and back of the head for different countries like India and things. They've done facial recognition for others. They've done implants when they've taken you. Those implants were prototypes. And some of them were alien connected stuff to try to control and monitor you. MK Ultra, putting it in your head and monitoring everything you say and feel. Now, you're already being monitored no matter what provisions you put in place or what you've been putting in place and choosing not to do, not taking your phone with you. It doesn't matter where you go and where you haven't gone. If you don't have any bugs, your car is bugged, your clothes are bugged, everything in you and out of you has been bugged from your foods anyway. You're being watched and noticed from satellites and from all sorts of forms of technology that we don't even know about. Bugs, birds, whatever. They can follow you wherever you go. They've done it already. Those voices you hear in your head now and then are them. They're not always spirits or God telling you things or the Holy Ghost. They are government programs, HET programs, and that's humanoid extraterrestrial programs, beings monitoring you and controlling you so that you could go the path that they've set for you, that they choose for you. They've been tripping up with me, though. And they know it because I have a way of doing things that goes off the normal status way of doing things. Even though I've set myself to do certain things I feel comfortable doing, there are certain things that I've done that throw them off, even though I'm isolated in a way. Even though I stay in certain places, there's certain things I do that throw them off. Because I follow one path and then I go another path all of a sudden through my moods and my feelings. It really messes with them. But the higher forms have noticing it. The spirits have noticed it. My other forms have noticed it. And they've been helping because they're me and I'm them in some form, some way. So it's been really confusing, a lot of them. They've been wondering, what side am I on? I've always been honest about what side I've been on. And I follow that side even more since December 2019. But ever since this last month, I follow it even more now. I don't let my family or others tell me what I am or what I am not. I haven't been perfect with them, and I haven't been able to be as nice as I probably should have towards my family in the way that I would like to. Because they don't understand the reasons I'm making the choices I'm making. And I have said I can't rely on them as much because I've noticed that when I bring up something, they say one thing and then they do another at the same time. They still love me and they're still conflicted. Their emotions are conflicted. And some of them, I don't even know if they're really aware if they're my parents or not my parents, or my brothers or not my brothers. This is where it gets tricky. If they are, I still love them whether they are or aren't, because they're still beings of this planet, of this universe. They're still energy of some form, even if they're not even human, and even if they're AI, they're energy. My awareness of them is I care about them. Regardless of any brain control of me or them or anyone, I love all. And peace for all and healing for all. So I've found ways to bring that peace, healing, vibration around me. So that if I can't convince anybody, which I don't plan on convincing anybody anymore, it's just speaking out and speaking my feelings and being honest and being open and letting them know what's needed, even if it sounds scary, telling them what I'm seeing and noticing, but I'm okay, whatever happens. Am I scared? Of course I'm scared to some degree, but I'm being protected because I've asked for protection. Anytime I'm scared, what do? I pray. Anytime I feel hurt, what do? I connect and pray and meditate to higher being. I call out Jesus' name. I call out Metatron's name. I call out any being that's willing to help, that is truly about peace. Even if I don't feel them or see them, and then I connect to myself and I follow my heart. I do what's right, whether I get a response or don't. I do what's needed and I move on. And I follow what is right. I'm not afraid how long I speak or how long I take to speak. It's about being fully open and aware of what is happening in this realm. Not being afraid, but being brave. Getting my hopes up and doing the next right thing. Following my heart is the biggest thing I do now. And my heart is to do the right thing for all beings. And to forgive, but not to allow them to keep up the abuses. To tell them, stop trying to rape me and others. Stop trying to molest me or use me as your butt buddy if you're doing things like that. That's inappropriate. Secretly or upfrontly. That's wrong. Stopping me from having a girlfriend or someone to be in my life romantically is also wrong. I desire to have that higher form of self that I was promised, and it's meant to come into pass. Whoever she is, she will know me, and I will know her. But we're going to be on the same mindset, the same awareness, and it makes me realize that I have to read all this book and get it all told first. And if I get it before then, awesome. But I'm meant to finish this book regardless and tell this story. But I have to tell you this from the heart before I read this chapter, because this is so important right now. We're in a shift. A huge shift of change. A huge healing form of change. And it's so important. People are so scared and so worried and afraid that we're going to find out that we've been enslaved and that we're in enslavement and that they control us and they've been controlling us. Well, no, they've been controlling us to a point, but there's certain things they haven't been able to do, even when they've tried. For some reason, they haven't been able to kill me. They've chosen not to. And I don't know their reason for why they haven't. But the longer they make me suffer in any way, they are suffering more. And I don't want them to suffer. I don't want anybody to have to suffer. I want us just to heal and free all of us. Because they may be the controllers, whoever they are, but they're enslaved just like we are. By enslaving us, they're enslaving themselves. When they free us and free the enslavement over us, they free themselves. Whoever they are, whatever they are, in all realms, in all beings, and in all spiritual ascended destinies and paths and multi-earth, multi-dimensions, whatever you want to call it, pocket dimensions, everything. So we are healing right now. They're healing. We're healing. We're all healing together. But the only way to heal is to recognize your flaws. Recognize what needs to be changed. And get the healing that can be done fast. People are ignoring these things. And they're so in pain, so they've been focusing on thinking that certain things like drinking and smoking will help them feel better. Or that life is too short and they're just going to do what they feel they want to do. And that's fine. They can do what they want to do, but it does affect all of us around that gets affected by that smoke and that issue. So we want to heal and be respectful of those all around us and how even when they smoke away from us, they come with that smell on them. no matter how they try to cover it up or clean them up in. We are affecting one another purposely, and it's been orchestrated that way. What's great is once this healing power is being awakened, like the earth is already awake now. It's been awakened a few different times, but this time it seems like it's not pissed off, because it can't really be pissed off. It really knows that being pissed off is not right. The earth is not letting that it be affected and be messed with anymore. It's done with the control. It wants us to be okay and safe. So it's kicking us a little bit and getting us to do what's right. I've had a few awakening spiritual entities today that have helped me. I've also had water that is soaked into my feet, and it's helped awaken a power energy within me. And there's been multiple spirits, and I've noticed a lot of women spirit, a lot of like female or feministic spirits around me. And it's been very enlightening. But these spirits are more spirits that know that my knowledge is amazing. They're loving my awareness and helping me, because the lack of others choosing not to, or not able to yet, but they're about to. It's them helping me until others are ready to call me and talk to me and meditate with me. So what's happening right now is there's other spirits that are helping me until people are ready to actually do what needs to be done. But they're still going to be there. That's the thing. They're going to be stronger. I'm being prepared, and so are you, for all of those that want to. I'm not special. We're all special. I'm special. You're special. Everybody's special. But I'm not saying that I'm more special than you. I'm not more special than you. We're all equally special. We all are equally powerful and equally immensely peaceful beings. We are divinely powerful. The fact is everything is shaping up, and I've awakened to knowledge of just accepting it now. I've just accepted that I am powerful, and that I'm amazing, and that I'm awesome, and that my desired life is meant to happen, and that I'm going to have that desired life in whatever peaceful outcome is supposed to. The funds and things will be given to me. Everything will be provided in whatever way and whatever fashion I want it in, and I've asked it in. Things are correcting themselves. People are changing their minds about who and what they are. People are choosing to do good over evil, and they're choosing to do what they know is right, rather than allowing people to control them. What has been happening is people are starting to awaken to the freedom of self. And instead of worrying about things that have been done, we're correcting what has been done so that other things can be in our life to make up for what's been done or taken away from us. So what's happening right now for you and me and for others is you are being healed and corrected. I'm being healed and corrected. Our funds are going to be wiped away, like where we are free of debt. We're going to be free of all required issues because we've asked for it. People are protecting me and have been protecting me because they know I need that protection. They know that they've been giving me delays on what is meant to be given to me. They've been stealing our assets from us. And we're supposed to have our freedoms. And even though it doesn't seem like they're stealing assets from us, and that they're offering us more opportunities, the reason why they're doing that is because they know we're worth it. We are more powerful than the rest of them have been able or been willing to notice and accept us as. So what's happening is we are becoming more efficiently protected and healed. All of us are being freed from this enslavement. Every single person is being freed from enslavement. Okay? Everybody that feels like we're enslaved, we have been, and we're going to be shown that we've been enslaved. And they're going to try to control us more at that time. But guess what? We're not. They can't. They're not able to anymore. In fact, what's going to happen is all of their problems are being rerouted and corrected. They already know that their system is shutting down. They've already lost big, huge followers and people they've been utilizing. They haven't been able to get the fuel from us like they were able to before. Many of us have taken away their control over us, and so they've been losing their control over this system and this planet and this world and this universe and multi-Earths. We've gone through this loop or this speaking or awareness a few times over and over. We've gone through this over and over with each other. So this is what I'm going to bring up. We're all tired, we're all weak, and we're all controlled, and we're all confused. People are being told over and over, and they're getting irritated by hearing it over and over again. But they're also realizing how important it is now. Instead of being as irritated as they were, they're realizing why it's so important now. They're acknowledging it, and they're letting it go. And they're going, you're right. Now, why is that? It's because there are many of them in the societies that have come to my home and others' homes that have Celtic salt and Himalaya salt down, or have done things similar to what I have done. And it's because I chose to do it. Many other versions of myself connected to me, maybe even you, have been inspired to do this. And if you haven't done it yet, I encourage you to do it. But you're going to probably have already done it. If you haven't, now you know that it will help. You can try it out. You'll know it within 3 to 6 months. You'll know that it is working. At first, when you first lay it down, when someone comes in your house and if you have an issue with them or they fight with you, it won't be as bad as you noticed before. It's also good to wet the salt at first. Wet it a few times. And then if you let it dry and let it be in your hallways and things, in your corners of every room and entryways, be inspired where to put the salt and how to lay it out. Think of the show Supernatural with Sam and Dean Winchester and all of them, and how they say you do a circle of salt, or you put salt in the window, salt at your door, all of that. Do that with Celtic salt and Himalaya bath salt. Do that. Do the same thing. This doesn't just stop ghosts. Some people say, oh, it stops witches. No, it doesn't just stop any form of dark magic or beings. It stops any energy of bad entity beings, of anybody, and it stops HETs from coming in as much. So they send their human counterparts or agencies in, but then they get affected. And then the ones that are sending in thinks that they're doing it for God, and yet they aren't, and they're being affected. And those that are coming in are usually neutrals or good beings thinking they're doing it for the right of being deceived to do it for good, when they realize this person is all about good. This person is all about focus on full peace. They may disagree with the religion belief systems and ideas, but they're noticing it and they're going, what does this mean? And they're judging, and instead of asking me about it and questioning to me about it and others, they're confusing themselves. I've tried many different symbolisms that I've felt drawn to, and even if they're silly, they're powerful to me. And there's certain levels or connections that I've gotten out of it. And it's about your heart, It's about your head, your heart, and your stomach, or below that as well. It's those three areas is what connects your whole body in form, and it's what creates reality. Those three areas as one, and utilizing them with the power of connection to peacemakers and ascended masters like Jesus Christ and Buddha and many other forms of deities that are mentioned in history. They all have forms of belief. Now, there are many people that have chose certain belief systems and government agreements of belief systems of what they feel they want to follow. But what they've realized and what they've lost is I've noticed that a lot of the government followers are following Muhammad. Some of them are following Jesus Christ. But they're all following what they think is the right deity to follow. I'm following the higher form that loves me, whatever form that is. The one that told me how to cure my cancer and told me I'd figure it out on my own, and trusted my insight, trusted my heart, trusted what I would see and knew, and downloaded it into my spirit form self, or into myself for this form, to remember, to have dreams, and to go through, however long it takes. And I was told that I would figure it out in this lifetime. And that I would figure it out by the end of 2019, which I did. And all of the experiences I went through and what I'm about to read will explain the beginning of awareness of this. I was told these happened to me for a purpose, but it doesn't matter what they did or what they were trying to do or what went through. There's going to be things you're going to find out about yourself, or that you'll find out may have been done to you and others, that you're going to start to feel, well, did they do it to me? And they may not tell you, and they may tell you, but you'll know in your heart whether they did or they could have. And even if they did or didn't, they did it to others. And the others are connected to you. So it was still wrong, regardless how many they did it to. And if they allowed it to be done to them, how do you know they won't do it to you next if you keep that control being allowed? So just because you think you're chosen or amazing doesn't mean you can't stop them. And I'm not talking about with weapons. I'm talking about with your heart of healing and powerful manifestation of meditating with a group of 3 people or 4 or more. And if children pray and pray for peace on earth, it will heal all the diseases, all the problems, if that's their focus. They ask and pray and ask Jesus to come, Jesus will show up. All the beings of good will show up because they asked with their heart and because their parents told them to do that. I'd say, hey, pray, and they're leaders, and they trusted that because children are innocent or are connected to an innocent power, even if they don't come across innocent. They're at a point of energy growing that they are connected to the realm more. But we're all connected to it, and we are all tapped into the power. Children are always said as the future, but they're future us's or past us's. They're all connected to us regardless, and we're connected to them. If we all pray together, childlike, with no judgments of each other, but honesty about each other, but then just to pray and to allow things to be good. See, children, they say what they want, but they love with their hearts. Even if they make fun of you or put you down, they still care in their heart, unless they're taught by their parents or others not to. By the example they see their parents do secretly or upfrontly, or that their parents don't think their children hear them or listen. Their children understand what's being told. And if they don't understand, they will as they get older. So be careful what you say around them. Don't be afraid. Be honest and open. If you lie, they'll know. They tell. They're aware. Be open and listen to their insights. They have amazing insight. Doesn't matter whether they learned it from a show And whether you say, well, it's just a show or it's just a book, it's just pretend. No, it's not. It's insight. If it's something that we can do, then let's do it. Let's heal. Let's create. They can. They can pray for snow. They can pray for rain. They can pray for anything, and it will happen. Because they follow it. They can wish, and the wish will come true. So wish with them. Become like little children, full belief from your heart, authentic honesty, and forgiveness, and you can create reality. If you talk to me and work with me, and you open your heart without judgment, and follow the idea of what Greg Braden, what Rhonda Rhimes, the one that did the secret books, the hero, the power, the magic, about manifesting reality through asking, belief, and then receiving and visualizing it into being, it happens. But it's really simpler than that. It's your thoughts, your feelings, imagining it's reality, knowing it's real, even if you can't visualize, you pretend as though you can, and then it happens. You do that with 3 people, and it happens even faster. You do that with a group of people all agreeing upon it, and it really shows up. That's how people are able to get people to fall down or do powers at them, because they all are belief, and belief is a powerful thing. So why not use it? Why not use it with your heart? Stop faking, stop using, stop pretending, and start creating. I have great wisdom. I have great knowledge, but I'm about solution. And regardless what happens, we're all going to do what we feel is right. So use the Celtic salt, drink it in your water. So not the bath salt one. You can get Celtic salt. If you do that accidentally, I did that once accidentally, it was okay. But do the Himalaya salt, or raw salt, and do the raw Celtic salt and put it in your water and have it distilled overnight or in the fridge or whatever, and then pray and think good things about your water. Have it in glass jars and in still jars or any container until we can get natural containers. Those are the best containers to use for energy, vibration, and keeping it purified, or curing any unpurified water. Polluted water, you can pray and think goodly of it for 29 days and it will be healed. So think goodly about all your water. Everything you say or feel in your room, let the whole realm be blessed, and believe that the spirits around you are blessing everything in your atmosphere, wherever you go, your car, everything. I've been being protected. Wherever I go, wherever I've been, I prayed so deeply, and there are beings helping me for whatever purpose and whatever reason. But regardless whether they think it's to help with their direction, they're actually helping me more than they think, for the good of humanity, even if that's not their purpose. They're being affected to be healed and to change their pain, and it's causing them to make the right choices, and it's healing them so that they can be freed of their bondages that they thought they were supposed to be part of, and that they had no choice over it. No, they always have a choice. We all do. Doesn't matter if you feel you're a clone, or if you feel that you're an AI or you're controlled. You can get away from that control, or at least help the good by choosing. If you feel you're a bad guy but you want to be a good guy, then be a good guy. Do the good things. Be an anti-hero if you're not a hero, if you don't think you can be, then be the anti-hero. Do heroic things even if you don't feel that you're a full hero, if you're just a neutral. Do good things with what you can do good things in. But be careful what you do, because whatever you do will ripple effect at you and those you care about, even if they don't do the things you do, even if you think they're pure or whatever. Just so you know. So, okay, so I've done this, talked to you for an hour on this. This is probably going to be somewhat of a long recording, I'm guessing. Not really that long. I'll probably keep it under 3 hours. But here we go. So, chapter 3 is on page 44. I've been seeing a lot of 8s lately. Tons of 8s. And 8 is supposedly one of my lucky numbers, one of my luckiest forms of number that I have. And it's connected to a lot of things. 3 is the combined lucky number that I have. 4s have always been lucky for me. But what I've noticed is there's a lot of connections with that. And in this page, it seems like there's a lot of things being mentioned that are part of my lucky numbers. So here we go. They're all in here. Pretty impressive, actually. So, chapter 3 on page 44. My 8-hour, 44 minutes, and 5-second sleep recording of possible abduction explained. Now again, I'm going to read this and I'm going to explain what I feel about now. My alien long sleep recording explanation mixed in with info that I researched to understand what could be happening or happened that night. I recorded 2 days after I saw my first alien encounter. So this was back in 2015. So I wrote this chapter though later on, but I did the recordings back in 2015 that I'm talking about. So recorded an almost 9-hour recording. It was basically 8 hours and 44 minutes and 5 seconds. Well, I listened to it a few times, but today on Tuesday, May 3rd, 2016, interesting day, I decided to write on this now. It was recorded the night of September 30th, 2015, of my sleeping, so it's kind of long. So about 2 hours in, I hear a noise stop that sounded like electronic noise, and as I write this today, there are flashes outside from lightning, so me typing this is not very liked by the secret government or aliens. Or maybe they're just curious at how accurate I am being. I believe it's possible they have even hacked my computer, and just about 2 hours in, before the sound of the machine-type fan noise could be the fridge going, but sounds different. So as I listen, it sounds like they were putting something in my nose and throat and causing me to try not to snore. Then I hear a noise, a kind of like elevator going down or up, and then I suddenly stop snoring. Interesting. Could it be that the aliens are there? And then as I try to snore again, it seems I can a little. Anyway, all of this could just be me snoring, but then I hear as if there was something in the room, walking and growling as I snore. But that could be just me. But then I hear footprints. Then it stops. I hear movement and me snoring. But then I hear what I know to be me moving. But I know I hear movement. Next I just listen. That's not me. Next I just listen to me my drilling sound of snoring that the recording picked up. Now is that drilling sound me, or is it being affected? Anyway, as I sleep, most of it just seems like just me. This recording was a few days after my first encounter of seeing my first actual remembrance of an alien and loss of time. So then, all of a sudden, I breathe heavily, just like a half a minute to 2 hours into my recording. After that, less snoring. It sounds like footprints. It seems I was being coerced into being tested on in my own bed. It could be they did their experiment or sucking of my glands right there. Because they suck the glands for to get high, is what I've heard some people say. So I wondered if that's what they could have been doing, because it sounded like it could have been. Then it sounded like I was growling and snoring in a drilling kind of sounding. So around 2 hours in, I just sleep a little. Now, understand, I think that the alien canvassed your whole room an apartment, and yard because they are invisible to the regular human eye due to their technology, but they're around in the morning and night. So yeah, so they're in like a pocket dimension possibly, or invisible tech. You can walk right through them, but they're there, or they can see you, but they're in another form. I know Stargate brings it up, like the show Stargate, but that Stargate is very connected to the Stargate program that happened in the 80s. So it's just them confirming what they've done in real life. So morning and night. If their ship is seen, it is by accident, maybe by purpose, but generally by accident. So a lot of people will think recording things and listening to them don't give great results. Now I understand, I think the aliens, yeah, so they canvas. What I mean is they go through your whole apartment and take a look at it. And they touch everything, very touchy. But, yeah, so things, and listening to them don't give great results. However, it does help to know what to listen and be aware of. Okay, so what was interesting is it sounded like I was taken out of bed for 15 minutes and put back into bed. Now some people will say I could have sleepwalked, but I don't remember doing so. Or feeling like I did. I felt rested. Oh my heck, I just heard some weird whistling sound, not from me. It was distant and some movement now. Okay, so also there seemed to be movement. So it seemed they brought me back and forth a little now. Understand, they can move us with their technology and into their ship and dimension. Again, this sounds like it's possible that there was agents that were going on, because some of the sounds I heard were actually something I never would have heard before. And it wasn't normal, and it's not something that my parents or family upstairs or in the house would have ever done. So it's just the way that it was done was just too odd, too interesting. So we are made of energy just like them. Now about 2 hours and 20 minutes in, now I keep hearing things like zipping sounds as if I'm getting zipped out of something, or I'm getting zipped, or they are zipping things, which is weird. Could be reptilian, or maybe even me. Then all of a sudden, there's quiet for a bit again, then all of a sudden I snored, but not like before. Now, this is about 2 hours and 20 minutes in now, and then it happened soon. There was a noise about to start. Now, it happened after first hearing myself to sleep a bit. Okay, then it happened and sounded like squeaking noises at first. So it was around 2 hours and 25 minutes. Then it occurred. I believe there was other creatures there. Now at this time, I've stopped for a bit of snoring. It sounded like I was being taken. I stopped snoring. Yeah, and I actually like zoomed in on the sound. I made it go like way loud, and I tried to get a really loud sound to it so I could hear it. And I heard deeper noise of it, so it came more aware. I stopped snoring, and it sounded like it's possible I was on the ship, or possibly they were just around me. Now then I breathe. So what they do is first prepare you before they take you and do anything. Now they first try to make you not be aware, or to make it seem like it's all your imagination. And it's a smart ploy, because the way we believe and have studied the mind is if we feel it's real, we get affected more by it. That I know. If you've ever watched the show It, the movie It, the new one and the old one, that kind of gets you to realize that they can make you see things and others can't see it, but it's there. And if you believe it, it can affect you more, can mess with you more. So even if it's not real, we are still affected by the belief. Mind has always been said to be a tricky thing. However, usually I didn't believe any of this idea of aliens till I witnessed what I witnessed. This recording is long, so here's the next part. So now we are in 2 hours and 30 minutes in. I started listening, and noticing that there was now some kind of connection. Now there was an electronic noise of like an escalator sound or lift sound. Okay, I heard something tapping sound and growl. Then an electronic sort of toy-like wheel-like sound with some squeaky noise, like a tool. That's when the noise of my snoring acted differently, almost like being drilled into. So around me it seemed other creatures were where they are, but were stealthy and quiet. Now whenever the lift sound happens, usually there is a change in situation. Now, one thing could be going on, that's the fact that the aliens are not just messing with me and implanting, but feeding off of internal glands, which is fear glands, or also known as worry glands. It's like a drug to reptilians or some alien creatures. Now, also, it could be different without more video proof and explanation and study. We really won't know, and it will all be conjecture. Now, it sounded like there was a sort of change. All of a sudden, so around 3 hours in, that's when it all changed. So about 3 minutes in, after the 3 hours in, is when I noticed change in sound of not snoring. The same. So it was almost like they stopped feeding off or messing with me. Oh, and then it sounded like the machine fan sound turned off. After that no sound, after about 3 hours and 5 minutes, and like 11 seconds, no sound, it turned off. And no snoring, no sound or anything. Weird. I must have been taken at that time. The recording kept going. It's interesting. I think it's possible that the aliens can prep you, then take you for a bit to do more things. It's possible at this time they did. This is so that they can stop the occurrence of me seeing them in the mirror. Okay, here we go. So 47 is the page. So now we're on the part where it says explanation as if you're the alien. So yeah, so think about this for a moment. Think of it this way. If you were the alien, or the extraterrestrial, or the dimensional being, or the agent, or the military ops, or the MK Ultra person, or the psychologist, or whoever that's doing these abductions and controlled programs, and somehow the test subject you were working on somehow saw through the technology into the alien and somehow notice things that shouldn't have been noticed, what do you do so that it doesn't happen again? So think about it. What would you do after the day after, or after I've noticed? They took me, I had 2 hours of lost time. So that week, what would they do to mess with my awareness of seeing them and having heightened abilities? So you still want to do whatever needed on the subject. Well, you mess with what went wrong, first track them more and dull down the subject's senses that they notice to test it to see how good it can enhance, and then see a way to test it. Also, if they're all about concealment and being hidden, well then they first have to figure out a way to make what was noticed to be seen as imaginative. Okay, then around 3 hours and 13 minutes and almost 30 seconds, there was the elevator sound. I think from the freezer connected to the fridge. Now here's what's interesting. Usually that would wake me up or use me to snore again. Well, there was silence, no change, so I cranked up the sound and listened again. Oh, this is where it gets very impressive, I think. We're getting there. So we're on page 48 at the top. So it's interesting. Now I increase the sound to see if I hear me. Well, it seems I was there, and it seemed like I heard some other noise of someone in the room. So what could have happened is they calmed down my snoring so that they could do what they needed to do, or they sucked the adrenal gland, and then that made me be able to breathe quieter. Okay, so around the 3 hours and 13 minutes, that's and 30 seconds, the sound went, and then all of a sudden it was all quiet. I don't hear much breathing. Okay, so around 3 hours and 50 minutes and 40 seconds, I heard some kind of movement of a door or something move. Now I noticed that my picture frame moved in a different direction than I put them. I am very observant and had to grow up noticing things others ignored. It enhanced my abilities to be aware of things in life. They say that when some of your senses are dulled, you increase your other senses more. So because my physical bones and things were dulled, I increased my thought and noticings more to figure a way on how to take care of me. Now, one thing that would be good is to put an idea of fake sound that would end up on a recording, making it sound like a person is there when they are not. If you want concealment, you do it by altering the info, especially when you have great technology that was higher advanced than our own, especially when our own technology came from theirs. So for a while, starting at 3 hours and 5 minutes and 11 seconds, that's when it happened for the change in noise. Then around 3 hours and 26 minutes and 30 seconds, I heard noise move. Then around 40 seconds, so 10 seconds later, there was a sound of movement, and that went around the room a little but very quietly. Now that's interesting. Is there were no foot noises, but movement. Understand, aliens can climb walls, ceilings, and are very good at not making much noise. Now, in other things, I would believe that they would use machinery noises to work to their advantages also, like fridge noises on my around 3 hours 34 minutes and 38 seconds. I made a huge noise and shift changed, as if going into the bed. Then all of a sudden I start snoring big. So for a long time, about 30 minutes, total quiet, and then noise. Oh my, I hear crackling of the floor. Wow, someone is there. They must have taken me. Oh man, now I hear the sound of a door opening sound and ramp like sound. I breathe a little more. Now the sound was loud, as if maybe a ramp was put down. Now I think it's possible that that's their input of being there. Now I seem to be smacking my lips in a swallowing pattern. Okay, that was strange. Heard a sound like growling other than me as I did. Now aliens are bug-like, but also speak differently. Okay, I heard a few growl noises. Some could have been from me. They have a way of being able to control one's mind and make them be in a dream state. Okay, so without enhancing sound, there's no way to know more than what I could hear. Okay, it sounded like a ramp was being pulled up. Wow, that was definitely a lift sound. They are clever. What it seems they do is mask within other sounds, knowing that will cover their escape and entrance. So my snores and breathing and lip smacking helps them to escape. Now this was between 3 hours and 48 minutes in the recording of my sleep. Then around 3 hours and 50 minutes, it seemed they could have been watching the recording time on the phone maybe. Okay, so around 3 hours and 51 minutes, in my snoring became loud like a drill, but then calmed here and there. So it happened around 3 hours and 52 minutes, and about 35 seconds, noise of the fridge left. Now, at that time, there is lots of drilling snores, back and forth. Okay, so around 3 hours and 54 minutes, I calmed that down a little, and then started a little back up, but it seemed I was being moved a little, almost like being prepped again. As I listened to this, my mind thinks of it as if someone was maybe using a syringe to stick me with something. Then I was moved around, or I moved myself. Now, aliens can use what you call some kind of mental hypnosis with their mind. Now, if we don't want to, then they use their free static machine, kind of like a human electromagnetic pulse. We are like a biological machine of energy. So that kind of electromagnetic pulse would freeze our whole body. Then they'd use some kind of way to make us sleep, probably by injection. Okay, so we're almost done with the chapter. We're getting close. So now about 4 hours and 2 minutes now I made a noise. You know I would recommend those who want to see things others don't. The way to increase sight is by drinking vegetable juice that is mixed with vegetables that increase sight. If you can't do that due to allergies, find another way. Research how to increase sight and senses. I heard a clicking sound like a pen or flicking sound from a syringe around 4 hours and 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And I could hear some other noises of me moving, and around 4 hours and 7 minutes I make a weird ow sound, like being stabbed. Then I heard some noises like some kind of packaging sound or something to maybe seal a wound or needle prick. I think their technology is more advanced, that they can close a wound easier by use of some laser or technology sealing of some kind. I started to sleep more soundly then. Okay, I'm around 4 hours and 11 minutes and 45 seconds. I heard ramp sound again. Still, a lot of sound of cool air sound. This whole time, now it's possible some of these ramp sounds came from the fridge, but some sounded a little different, and I think those sounds were the ship. Now I am hearing the sound of the ship noise. It's kind of a roundabout sound, like a spinning sound of motion. That is the ship of their machinery. They both are about the same sound, kind of like you've seen in shows. I believe they get a lot of those noises in movies and shows from the real thing, so that we would be less likely to hear it correctly and think it was fake sounding. Then I heard some slippery sound, kind of like a whisper, and a squeaky glass, and almost sticky or dry sounding or slippery sounding. That's interesting. Okay, so it seems that my mirrors were being messed up at the time, and my windows, I think they do this as a test maybe or something. Not sure why they do what they do. Okay, around 4 hours and 17 minutes and 56 seconds, the sound stopped. I also stopped snoring a bit. So it was possible they called me now. There was a weird shifting sound, like a machine being used on me. So around 4 hours and 20 minutes in, I decided to stop for a bit. Mostly the reason why aliens come at night is usually aliens want you completely asleep before they come get you or monitor or spy on you. I'm going to tell you something else. It also has to deal with alien beings are connected to military and other forms, and HCT, humanoid, extraterrestrial, dimensional, whatever. Some of them it's just programs to keep you docile and controlled. Understand, if you were the infiltrator, what would you do? If you didn't want those to know you're on their Earth and doing these things, well, first, I know putting electronic listening devices and also putting trackers on you, so implants in a way to first keep track of whoever you go, wherever you go, and how your body is doing, and also making sure things are doing the way they want it to. When I say they mean those who work with them, such as Black Ops government, if they are part of it, as well as the aliens. Now, if they are just men in suits, I think there are different task force, like human in suits or even alien shapeshifters, or human and then gas for you to see as if it's something that it isn't, and tests that is possible record such as MK Ultra or other secret tests. I'm impressed I mentioned that in here. And would they keep doing so, acting as if they're not when they changed it and call it something else now? Why we are too busy worrying about terrorists or other country or policies, secretly they are doing all these secret control programs and targeting your family through your work and life, secretly promising things. If you confide in these things or listen to FBI or CIA ideas through their threats or programs, so they can be able to use you as a benefit for whatever they can get you to agree by. Knowing that you'd want or need the most and taking it away or offering it to you if you just follow or do as they ask, so that certain programs or laws can be processed or voted on by the public due to certain catastrophes that they want to cause fear or to get others to analyze, as we do. Then they can be able to do what they're doing. It's called misdirection. We look at one thing and yet miss seeing what's really going on, so that we can't do what they don't want us to do or know. At the same time, we are all okay because secretly we are able to focus on an idea that others don't mention or think about all that much. What that idea is the fact that as there are those things going on, there are good people in the military and in these groups that are on our side and care. So yeah, there are good beings and good people within these groups and within these societies that actually do care about us and are there for us. Okay. Chapter 4 is a big chapter, and I can't guarantee how long that recording's going to be, but it's definitely a huge amount of information. Wow. Oh. Huh. Yeah, so I just finished chapter 3. So chapter 4 goes all the way to chapter 5 is from page 52 all the way to 95. That's a huge chunk of the book. And the next chunk of the book yeah. So chapter 4 is going to be chapter explanation or review for the extraterrestrial experience and observations explained. So this one was just chapter 3, so it wasn't very long. This is one of my shorter recordings. So even though I took a whole hour explaining some pretty impressive information, it only took me like 35 minutes or less than 35 minutes. It's 34 minutes right now or so, and a few seconds or 20, 30 seconds right now. Yeah, it didn't take very long to read that because that whole chapter was just an overview of what I was noticing the recording was telling me. So the recording, I heard some weird soundings and some very deep soundings. I listened to it very deeply. I wish I had that recording now, but it was a very interesting, it was personal to me, so I listened to it personally for what was going on. It was very invasive. Let's just say it was very surgical sounding and very messed up. It was peaceful, but then not peaceful. At first, I thought it was just me sleeping, and then when I listened and boosted up the volume, there was other creatures there, and it was too obvious. But what they were doing and messing with was they were doing a lot of invasive stuff, cutting into me, zipping me up, unzipping me up. I actually dreamed that they zipped me up and unzipped me up. And so part of me felt like they were trying to, they were like I was being, I felt like I was being, they were trying to turn me or making me be a reptilian, but not a reptilian, like I was being put with a human bodysuit or not a bodysuit, and then being taken back. They were trying to make me feel like I was something I wasn't or could be. Regardless what being or what I really am, I care about peace and I focus on being more peaceful. I have a feeling that even if I'm some form of clone or whatever it is that they are trying to make me seem or feel I'm part of, so that they feel like I'm their property, whatever is going on, I care about peace for the universe and for reality. And a higher form said I'm them and they're me. And so the form was a peaceful, white-robed being that was human-looking, but was many different beings, and there was children and me, and I was childlike. I was told I'll be okay. So whatever I am, if I am an HET myself, I'm a peaceful HET if that's the case. But I don't think I am. I think I'm human, or at least feel like I am. And regardless what species I am, I want everybody to be free. I don't believe in enslavement of any species of any kind. But they also can make you feel like you're something you're not, or make you remember past life. And so I think I was being manipulated or messed with in many psychological ways and many other ways. But I do know that they were doing something. Also, they like to alter different humanoid species to be more of their species, to be more like them, so they can enslave them to be able to control their ships or to handle their air more or to handle their new atmosphere they're trying to make the Earth as for them, taking over the atmosphere to make it breathable for their atmosphere of idea. What they'll do is they'll try to make you more radioactive or subjected to radioactiveness, more to deal with it, more to handle it, or to kill you off, or to kill the human form of you off. Or test, or to not allow you to ascend or evolve, which is ascension. It's not really evolution. It's more of ascension evolution is how I look at it. Basically, we are meant to become higher forms, and they're trying to stop that vibrational ascension, to keep you docile in their form of technology, to keep you from being more from what you're meant to be. So they can alter your genes and control, or to stop your species from becoming what you're meant to become, or to connect to the powers that you are naturally supposed to be able to control for yourself, not them controlling you. So it's a very invasive procedure that I felt that I went through, and that others have said they've gone through in this. But that's what they do. They mess with your intent of being, of who you are and what you're meant to be and who you're supposed to truly be. And they really try to cause you to be controlled by what they think they're allowed to control you in. And so they mess with your full form of what psychologically, physically and emotionally, and they study, they amplify your abilities, and then they take those abilities so that they can control them, so that they can amplify or push them down, and so that you don't feel like you are in control. And that's how it feels anyway. I don't know what they're really doing or why, but it's a very, very irritating situation. But the way to be able to control and to heal and break away from those things is if you can just get people to come together and heal you and manifest things like Christ taught and others taught, you can get these dark entities or these controlled systems of computers and technology to not be able to work on you as much. The more you raise your vibration, the more you become a higher form, they can't come into your atmosphere. As soon as I put Celtic salt and put things in my atmosphere, I have had less irritation from any evil entities, even human evil entity people. They can only send people that are supposedly spiritually good people that have some form of consciousness or conscience that is to do good for a purpose of a god or of a belief system or what they think is a neutral okayness to do for their own gain. And so, but when they realize that the individual is actually a really well-rounded individual who cares about all people, they start to want to do better for you. They start to, instead of trying to keep you enslaved and keep you damaged, and instead of thinking, oh, you know, I don't want to become like that individual, or I'm glad I'm not that individual, you know, but I'm going to allow them to be affected in this way because if I don't, then they'll do it to me. Well, once they're done with me, they're going against you. They're going to go for you and your children and your nieces and your nephews and everybody. They're probably already doing that in some form or some way. Allowing them to do it to me and others so that they don't do it to you is bullshit, because they're doing it to you and they're going to. I am a form of you. You are a form of me. How, regardless of your belief of connection, especially those of you in the know, you should know this. Your technology even confirms that it's connected from our inner self. We can do it without the tech. You can look into it. You can take a look and notice it. Manifest things or meditate with me or do those things or focus on that. Use Celtic salt and Himalaya salt. Go organic vegan. Start noticing it after a year and a half. You'll start noticing. You'll really notice. But you have to stay fully towards it. Don't try to eat any other things at all. You'll notice a change. But that's up to you. That's your choice. I'm not telling you to do it or not. That's up to you. But you'll notice. You'll witness it. The more you focus on peace, the more you start becoming authentic, following your own path, rather than a religion's or other government-associated controls. You start to become free. You start to be unenslaved, and you start to wake up. So I'm just letting you know, be vigilant, be aware, follow peace. Just know my heart is with you and I care. And I'm there with you and I'll do everything I can to help. So I bless you with all my heart, and I bless you with peace. And for those that want to, and those that want to reach out to me, my phone number is 801-499-4494. So that's 801-499-4494. My email is durbagesamuel@gmail.com. And Gmail is G as in George, and then Mal. .com. And you can talk to me, tell me who you are, say what it is you're calling about, whether you want to share your story, or if you want help and work on meditating. I'm better at explaining over the phone than I am the other. And those of you that haven't talked to me or don't have time to talk to me or think that I'm going to talk a long time, I really won't as much as you would think. If you give me the chance to be the teacher and give me the information on what I would like to do or how we can do this for the meditation technique, I'll tell you what we can do. And then tailored around something you feel you want to do. But it would have to be, how do you believe in meditation technique? Do you believe in manifesting? Are you aware of Greg Braden information? Are you aware of the water rice studies and the energy science on water? And it's a technique. If you're unfamiliar with those things, you may want to look those things up first and be aware of them and how, but you don't need to. It's just what you want to do is give a chance to it. We do this blessing connection within 3 minutes, and we do it together. Non-judgment for each other. We follow our hearts. We become like little children, where we care. Not children that bicker and make fun of each other, that actually care and act like we'll hug each other, care about each other, and really listen with our deep heart. Where we just trust each other fully in love, without judgment, forgiving of each other for anything we did wrong, as if we did, or thinking that we've done wrong at all, thinking that we don't know whether we have or not worrying about that. We're more focused on just being there for one another, loving each other. We're innocent. We act innocent. We act like we are, very decent, innocent. Some people call it naive. So it's not really being naive, but it's being as though we're naive, but not naive in a bad way, more of we're being more innocent, loving, open to create reality. And then opening up to a higher form in our hearts, believing that there is some form of possible higher self that's just wanting us to open up to it. And so that it can be there for us unconditionally. And then that being will be connected to creator, to creators, or whoever is out there, whatever is out there for a good being. We're only opening to good. We're not opening to an evil form of control or slavery or mark of the beast type of being. We're opening to a good being, to the good forms that are there. Guardian spirit, Metatron, angels, whatever you want to call them or define them as. Throughout ancient text, they didn't really have any names. They had many different names, and they changed and altered throughout history. And so one of the biggest names I've noticed that respond is Metatron, and then Jesus, and then another is just asking for the breath of life to come upon you. Please breathe the breaths of life on me for healing and for manifesting my desired life. And then another I've heard is basically saying, I am that I am, is a very powerful statement for many. I use that now more than I have before, and I've noticed it. I just accepted that I am, and that I am connected to it, and that I am a son of God, like Jesus was, that I am connected to that I am, and that Jesus is me and I am Jesus, just like I was told in 2017 in some way, and I accept what was told to me by that being, whatever that meaning meant. But I notice that I am that, so I can ask for things to be, and they will, and I just accept it. I just go, and I keep getting more acceptance and peace and protection, knowing that there are angels around me and people listening in on me. And anybody that responds or that I hear responses from are not just secret agent beings listening in or in my head, or people trying to be quiet and then accidentally taking the mute button off or on, but it's also other beings that are realizing and waking up to the agreement of my knowledge and so impressed by what I'm saying, and that they have great insight of my insight, and they're just getting so loving about it and so open to this knowledge. And so basically it's just focusing on the fact that you are amazing, they are amazing, we're all amazing, and just knowing that everything is working out the way we want it to. that no one is controlling what we want. No one is trying to tell us what we can or cannot do. We're doing our own form of life. And they're following us and we're following them. But we're all connected. We're all okay. And we're all fine. We're all loving beings. They love us, we love them, even if they don't. We focus on peace and as though they're already doing what we wish them to do. And then focusing on healing through drinking Celtic salt and Himalaya salt in our shakes or drinks or things that we put into our foods. We take that in safely, not too much and not too little, just enough. And if we have done too much, then we dilute it with more water, more healing energy of juice or whatever with it so that it can mask out or so that it doesn't overwhelm or underwhelm us. Just whelm us. Just keep us balanced. And then keep us more high-vibed to protect from the lower vibrations. And the lower vibrations are healing to higher vibrations. And so what we do is we get drawn to certain things, we do certain things, and we do what's required and do what is necessary. So that's how this works. So first off, we do what's necessary, we do what's right, and we don't fear, we cheer. We get our hopes up, and we do what truth requires. And we do what's authentic and right. We're honest about what we're doing. We get away from any agreements that enslave or cause enslavement to others or cause abusive MK Ultra programming or control or abusive programming or lack of needs for others. And then what we do is we focus on a healing pattern where we know that all of that is no longer existent. We now can just look at things and know that they are. So now that I've kind of given you the heads up of what we're doing is we're just looking at, you have your vision board, you have your desire, that means pictures like a car, your favorite car or house or whatever. If you don't know what that is, I say get all of those together first, then call me and then focus on them. I don't need to see them. I don't need to know what they are. But knowing them might help me a little bit understand, but I know that you understand it. I know that you're seeing, even if I'm not seeing, even if I think I know what it looks like, even if I've showed pictures of my own and you think that that's what I'm going for, it's going to be way different than what I'm going for. There's reasons on how my car will be and how my house will be. And I may not even need the car because I already have one. But the house and the place will be needed in a particular fashion or way. But regardless, I'm going to get exactly what's required for my safety and for yours. You're going to get what you want. I'm going to get what I want. And that's the focus. So even if it's just two of us doing it, we can just manifest it by focusing on the fact that it already exists. And then focus that we have the means and the healings and the ability to have that at least. And then once we're taken care of for our needs, or provided for in this realm, then we can focus on meditation and healing more because we have more free time to do that. We have more focus because now we have our health being taken care of, our romance or our life taken care of. We have a life, we have a house. Now we can meditate. Now we can go do things that we want to go do. Now we can enjoy our life the way we want it to without lack of needs. Once you have the needs or some form of needs taken care of where you have more than enough, then you can share it with other people and bless others with it and help them manifest their desires because you are their manifested hopes. So when you provide to someone and when you meditate with each other and you're both providing through your energy for each other, you're both blessing each other and then you're also blessing others that you come in contact with that you're open to help, that have been hoping and praying for that help. So you're just making other people's dreams come true. Your own and then others. So there are many people praying right now that believe their prayers will come true. you're going to be drawn to those people. And those people that have faith, or those that have been trying so hard and now have had 2 months overwhelming and lack of needs and are due for a miracle, and you'll be that miracle. You already are a miracle. All of us are. We all have our unique miracle abilities. And we're all capable of the same ways of healing and power. So you need to decide, what is your path? What is your focus? Who are you? What are you? Who are you? And then you need to decide, who are you? Who am I? And you need to decide, I'm a hero. I am this, or I am that. I'm a warrior. I'm this, I'm that. You need to decide, what is your archetype, what is your purpose, what is your thing, and you need to decide without needing to pay money to find it out. Do things that are free, and then you don't need to pay for their other extra stuff. Just learn what you feel sounds good to you, and then get away from all the other trickery that they're trying to get you to buy into. Just be aware of the free stuff, or the things that sound good, even if it's pretend. And love the things that sound good and that really bring you up in your life. So for me, I've seen many different forms of who I am that are free. And I paid for some things that I chose to, but I don't pay for as much as I did before. I actually care more about healing knowledge now. It's free. I know enough information now, enough knowledge, to understand that all we really need is to manifest it. And all we need to do is know that we are capable of it, and that it already is. And that we can do it on our own, even if we don't get the 3 other people. Or even if we don't get another person. But I know that we can do it a lot stronger when we have 3 other people. Or just 1 other person. And then that other person can tell 2 other people to pray in that same way for that person. Or we can have 1 person calls me, then another person does too, and then we can all just pray for each other and say, do you know what, there's this other person, I won't tell you what their name is, but they are wanting the same thing, so let's all meditate together, and I'll talk to each one of us, and we don't have to be talking at the same time, but we can decide a certain time that we can all meditate on our own separate time wherever we're at, and we can pray at that time. Even if we miss that time, we'll do it right when we realize and go, oh, we need to do that, I'm going to do it now. Once you can do it at that time. And know that these other people prayed for you, or are going to when they notice it. I will do my best to do it at the time that we're needing, but we'll say we'll do it on a certain day. We don't even need to have a certain time, because we're all going to have different times that we do that day. And we're going to put it on our calendars, put it on our phone to remind us, or whatever way that is the best way to remind us. And we're going to pray that day when we think. And if we don't do it that day, we're going to do it the next day, or when we remember. But we know how important it is for us and that person, knowing how important this vibration requirement is. So we're going to trust that the other did, even if they don't. And if we find out they didn't, we're not going to worry, because we'll know that now they're going to do it. So that they did do it once they realized. If they decided not to, someone else will make up for them not doing it. That's how this works. When you reach out with your heart to me, make sure if you're going to do this, you put your whole heart in it, and you really want to. You're not just doing it to test it out. You're actually wanting to. Those that do it just to test it out, you need to know, keep your heart open as best as you can, and we can do it for 3 minutes. So keep a 10-minute slot open when you talk to me, and we'll do the thing for 3 minutes that they say we do it as, and then the rest of the time we're going to focus on that it's already happened, it's already happened, it's already happened. But then focus on, we have the car, we talked about what our dream is. So we're going to say it's so cool that now I have this. We're going to talk it as present tense as best as we can. If the other doesn't or gets it out of that path, we're just going to say, oh, it's okay. You know that I have this already, right? Yeah, you do. Thanks for reminding me that that is the way that it is. But we're not going to do it in a judgmental way or a put down of, don't say that you don't have it, don't say it's not. No, we're not going to do it that way. We're going to do it in more of a, okay, you're right, we have that, you're right, thank you, we have it, we're good, we have this. And then we're not doing it in a motherly way or a fatherly way or a snippy way to each other, thinking that we're better than the other. It's equal. We're equally, this is empathically important. This really matters. When we do this thing, it is similar to a life and death desire. This is important to our healing. This is important, so it matters. So after the 10 minutes are up, after we've done and talked about what it is to ourselves, or to each other about what we know it's right for how they see it in, not in the way that you think you see it in for me, but how I see it in and how you see it in. And we don't need to clarify it to each other unless we feel we want to, but just knowing that it's whatever it is, even if we don't fully get it, we don't need to fully understand it, but it's respecting the other's desire to share it is also good. The next thing, and the most important thing, is this. You focus on the fact that it's already happened. We've already done that power of the already happened, and then we feel it heartfelt. Then if we don't see it happen after those 3 minutes, then we talk about it already existing and how it's going to feel, and it's amazing. And then we call and say, okay, when do we want to do this again? Do we feel like we need to do this again? We'll say, well, no, it's already happened, so I won't need to, because it just happened while we were doing it. That's what's going to be really cool, is we're going to see it happen the more we put energy into it. That's why when you have 3 people doing it and you really feel it's there, then there you go. It's so cool. Now, the next thing that you do is, after we've done that 10-minute thing, we can do another 10-minute thing another time. Or we can do one that's longer than 10 minutes, and we do what we feel we need to say, and we say it as long as we both feel comfortable saying it until it is. So the next time we do it longer. Or we just do another 5-minute thing, or 3-minute thing, and we do it again for 3 minutes, and then having a 10-minute time, and we do it each time. And this is for those of us that want it and know it's important and needs to happen as soon as possible. We talk to each other as much as possible doing this, over the phone or in person or whatever we feel is needed. But we do this on our own, and then when we're not talking to each other each day until we talk to each other again, we're doing that again. And if you have children, get your children to pray with you and trust in that. Be honest to those around you that you know will understand it or be open to it, to do it. But if you don't feel safe to do that, or if you're not sure how they would respond, or if you choose to and they respond badly, just remember, this is your choice to tell them or not tell them. But the more people to do it with us, even if I'm not with them doing it, but you're told them to do it for me as you do it for me and I'm doing it for you, the more powerful it is. Now, if you want me to do this with other people for you, you need to let me know, and I can tell other people. I'm not going to particularly tell your name, but if I'm doing this with other people, I'm going to say, you know, this other person talked to me and asked me if there's anybody else open to please think of them while we're doing this too. Are you okay with that? And I would ask other people. If they're not, it's fine, and no one needs to be pressured into doing this for others either. And I can't guarantee that others will or won't do it, but it's fine if we're going to get it to happen regardless how many people choose to and don't. Okay? If you're the first person and only person that talks to me about these things, at least you're doing something. At least you're open to it, because that's what matters. Those that are open to it, no matter what being you are, that is great, because then we can make this universe and world work. Because I have this ability and knowledge and power, and I do have protection angels all around me lately. And I've been noticing that they've been around me even more the more that I've accepted who I am. The more that I've accepted that I am a creator of my own universe, and that I am creator of my own life, and that I am a sage, and that I am knowledgeable and insightful and wisdom, and that I am connected to creators, and I am connected to magicians and others, and innocent individuals are always more compatible with me than anyone else. Magicians are second, but according to what I've seen, I match mostly with innocent individuals. Creators are third place, and magicians are second place. So I match with them a little bit more, magicians, but I match with innocents the most. I match with children the most. Innocent individuals and people that are childlike. Because I myself am really close to being childlike. I'm a sage, which is about wisdom and knowledge and solutions and heartfelt focus. And I get drawn to answers, and I'm accurate about that research of the answers. I get the answers I'm looking for. And it always happens, and so my knowledge is very wise. I did the test, and I tested it out. I've noticed it with my birth date and the way that it is, and my soul urge numbers and everything. I seem to match with that form, and I've done several different personality tests. I'm always turning out to be an angel or some form of connected being. And when I do any kind of supernatural creature, I'm either a unicorn or a werewolf. And the werewolf is usually a werewolf that is more of a fighter for God, or the hound of God, or good form. But I'm usually one of them that is nature form of werewolf, caring about nature, not killing animals or eating other things, but more of a plant-based being and following and connecting to the earth itself, carrying and being the full form of heaven and healing, and finding ways to protect myself and come at individuals to stop them from stealing or taking things from me. And astral projecting or sleepwalking into getting them to not take things from me and give them back from trying to do the wrong thing or do things. And I've done it a few times throughout history and a few times in society where I've convinced them and got them to do the right thing rather than the evil thing. And I've done it twice. And people have noticed that we've done this before. We've done this loop around before. And people are catching on that we've done this loop. We've done this awareness. And it's because people are still not getting to the way to do it. They're choosing not to do the manifestation of blessing things into being, meditating and creating things and healing and creating our realities, and they're choosing to ignore that ability when we all can do it. And that's okay. It doesn't mean you have to. It means the sooner we do it, though, the sooner this world will be better. As soon as everybody's opening to doing that from their hearts and come like children and do that for one another from the heart, not to be enslaved, not to use a mark of a beast, because that's wrong. To be our own individual rulers over each other rather than trying to rule each other. And respecting those who choose to try to rule and to manifest our finances to handle within the ruling system so that we can rule and have our freedoms within whatever system is. So that then we can help others free and be there for the innocent and be innocent ourselves and be truly loving and caring and healing and protective. And so I'm all about being there. So So that's what I'm saying, is we have the power. We just need to know we have the power. We need to feel we have the power. We need to accept that we have the power and not try to act like we don't. That's the important part about this whole thing. So yeah, this recording is well, not really a long one, but it's a little bit shorter than my last one, or other ones usually are. My next recording information is going to be a lot of information that is really wide, broad breakdown of the whole system of the book. But it's a very thought-provoking, but not provoking, it's more of unprovoking. It's more of a peaceful awareness and opening info of all the things I went through and experiences I saw. And I'm going to go into that in Chapter 4. Chapter 4 talks about all of that, and I'll do that on another recording. But this is Chapter 3, and so after I witnessed all these scary things that I witnessed, or this issue of them messing with my body and messing with those things, I noticed that my insights were heightened and then unheightened, and then certain things were going on. That's when I started having issues with cancer and awareness of things that was happening. That's when I had to go and find out stuff about my back and other stuff, which I found out. I went to doctors. I found out the year before, whatever, but this time I found out what was really going on, and that I did have a fracture in my lower back, and I got into housing, being aware of these things. I found out that they were secretly doing things to me after that experience. I found out they were doing secret things and causing these things to happen to me. I had other experiences moving into the new home. So Chapter 4 was just right before I got into new experiences. Moving into the new place, and then being close to a mountain that I dreamed about, that there was an opening, and then finding out that there is a base or a connected program base up there that's probably connected to MK Ultra projects that are still going on. They probably call it some other form of projects now, but they're using astral projection and gateway program type of studies and forms, and it's connected to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, allowing King Starker agreements for me being part of the church. And I guess they've been doing it since I was younger, and I've been messed with, and my family and other family members and others were allowed to be aware of these things and given intuition or given access to these things based on their awareness and their studies of learning. And they all kind of understood or felt, and some of them were put into these projects, and some of them come out knowing that these things are going on, acting as though they know they are, and then all of a sudden they act like they don't know. All of a sudden they bring out intel as if it is happening, and they know it is, and then they shut their mind off as if they didn't know that they said something that they just said. And so I started to notice that there is a control program going on, a mind control, that my family and other families are secret agent connected. That at first they get brainwashed, or they don't think they're brainwashed, that they have dual personalities. And they become good, and then they become ungood. And then they become like dual, and they try to be quieter, they try to keep quieter, they don't like contention, they don't like fighting, they just like relaxing or doing whatever they want, but then they have like a secret mentality that they don't even know they're doing. That they know they're doing it, but they don't. It's very tricky and very abusive, and yet it's very confusing, and yet they are part of it. And so when you're part of a family that has dual personality attitudes, where they say stuff and they bring out something and then they hide it, and then they dull their pains by pills or other things, and then they bring up this information and then they don't, and it's a very tricky system, and it's very confusing what's really going on with them and what they really know about, what they don't tell people about. And so there is something going on. There is some confusing systems happening. And they have weird dreams and things that they don't know is occurring, and then they realize what's really occurring. But it's their brains have been messed with, just like mine have, and they think it's the devil messing with them, when it's really just ET connected beings doing it, which could have a low vibrational connection to devilish possibly, but it's different. It's more of a psychological control. And the society has done it. Now, I stumbled upon a lot of these things and saw things that other people don't always allow themselves to see. Because of my physical health and needs and my inability to breathe in or be hypnotized as much because of my lack of issues, of needs or whatever, they have had to use gas and other hypnotic techniques to get me to not notice them as much anymore. But then I still see the signs. I still see when they've been here and when they haven't, or how, or that they possibly could still be around. Then I notice things where it's humans trying to say they're ETs, but they're leaving things in different forms or different ways that are different than what the ETs left behind. So I realize that there is a faction group trying to be these other beings, or as though they're like them, but not quite like them or not quite the same. And I go, this is strange because this isn't as what the others were doing, but it's almost similar, but it's not quite. And you notice they try to be similar to the other, but they're not really as similar. So anyway, I learned some pretty impressive things, or some pretty eerie situative things, and I've chosen to do what I felt was right rather than what is wrong, or what others have told me I should do. I follow my heart now. I listen to other people's interpretation, but everybody has some kind of stick or agenda or purpose that they're trying to sell or put people in or follow based on what they think is really going on, and they're not seeing the full purpose. Everybody's trying to get people to follow certain paths of beliefs, and what is very important is to follow your heart and what you know is right and your instincts. Follow your instincts that are good from your heart. Find foods that are natural and don't control you, and things as best as possible. But even if you do that, it doesn't mean that it's working or isn't. But be aware of what's helping you and be open to manifesting. That's the one thing that I know can help. When you focus on belief in something, it helps you create your reality the way you know is needed. And when you have other people that can come like little children and pray with you and ask for it, and other forms of factions are willing to offer that because of the heartfelt belief in it, then it works. And that means the beings who offer the blessings are listening because they're speaking the right form of feelings, and you're the right connected aids agreement of acting that connects to whoever allows those blessings to be given. And so that's what it is. It's agreeing and then adapting to what you know is required. It's not staying to the same program all the time. It's adapting and changing to what you're noticing and seeing is important. But then trusting that there are people that are creating it for you if you lack the ability to make it happen. So knowing that there are beings that will make up the lack of your ability to create it if you don't get people to meditate, or if you're unable to do what's needed for what you know you need by, it will make up that time for you because you put your whole heart in it. You put your whole awareness in it, because you are that dream. You are that vision board life. You are that vision goal requirement, that vision is realized. It's not pretend. It's not a hope or a dream. It's real. And as soon as you do that, as soon as you see it that way, and you have others guiding and allowing it with you, it helps more because they are seeing it with you, or they're agreeing whatever you see, even if they don't see it. Knowing that what you want is real, trusting your desire of hope, and then you're trusting their desired hope for their life. And then because you're both unconditionally accepting that it's okay, and that they deserve it, and they require it, and it's important to them, and you're not saying that they're not worth it, you're not saying they can't get it, you're not saying that they aren't it, you're all saying that you are it. You're coming together, and you're doing it fervently and fast in your affection towards each other. You all know it's real and important, and you're all saying yes, 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 let's make it happen, it needs to, and knowing that it can, and then working together each time to keep making it happen without strings attached, coming together, talking to one another over and over and over, saying yes, it's real, yes, it's real, yes, it's real. It's real, it's real, it's real, it's real. Now, now, now. Already happened, already happened. Whatever phrase you feel needs to be said, you say it. For me, I can pretty much say any phrase that I feel is a positive phrase or an actual phrase that will work. And then I might say now, 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 because that's the way they did it in the non-medicine hospital that actually made things pure. And the ancient texts say to say. Because now is a powerful word. But if you don't want to just say now, you can say the other things. Yes, it's real. Yes, it's real. Yes, it's real. It's right here. I feel it. I'm holding the money in my hands. I'm holding it now. I own it. I have it. I have the $1 billion. I'm holding the funds in my hands. It's real. It's real. It's real. I have the funds in my hand. It's unlimited fund abundance. I have it right here. I got the contracts. They're all signed. They're all given to me. I did it in front of the people that were needed to have it done in front of. I'm touring my house right now. I enjoy the car. I was able to drive to my house. I got it all licensed. I got it all done. I have it all freely given. It's all mine. I'm with the girl of my dreams. I'm with the person of my dreams. I meet them. We have fun time. We go while they're getting my house ready and put together. I get to the house. They have everything I want. All these cool things happen. I do some fun party with family or friends or those that I care about or other people or just with this new individual. Or whatever you feel the life is going to be like and that you want it to be like, and regardless, however, it's just enjoyable. You're able to relax and just cuddle with the person that you want to cuddle with and be with and enjoy life with, and you're just enjoying it. It's just so fun. Everything is fun. It's laughter the way you want it to be, and you're just enjoying it, and you have the food that you want, the atmosphere you want, the happiness you want. It's all amazing. It all feels great. You're in that life. It's already been given. You went on the trip of your dreams, the honeymoon of your desired life, your trip of your fantastic with that someone or yourself or with friends or whoever it is you want to be with, or multiple times with different people for different reasons. And it's exactly in the way that you want. You're communicating with the people that you consider friends in the way you want to communicate with them in. You have people or new people in your life that will listen to your heart fully and understand you fully and know you fully and don't tell you not to be other than what you know, that appreciate your wisdom and awareness of what you've seen in life. that will accept what you feel needs to be accepted or feel to be manifested. All of that is real. And you're loved and you're hugged by your family, your parents, or whoever it is you want to be hugged by that you haven't been. They understand you, they know you, they are convinced and told by the person you love. You have the appreciation and the acceptance from those that you wanted to be accepted from. They're all in your life. Even if their spirit form is around you or the feeling as though they are, you're doing what you want to honor that which you've always wanted to honor, and they're appreciative of it. And others appreciate your awareness and your insight and your happiness. You've been able to do and accomplish what you never thought you could accomplish. You're being looked at for amazing smartness and abilities and awareness of your insight of life within a reality that is real for you for that insight. So you're in a realm and a reality that makes all your insight amazingly accurate and confirmed. And so in what you feel needed to be, and that you have the answers, and that you've been able to accomplish that which you have wanted to accomplish. All of what you have asked for. For those that want a Disney wedding, I want that too. That is something, you get that Disney wedding, that Disney proposal, you get that Disney life. Those that are against Disney because of some of the dark understandings about it, that's understandable, but there are good things about that. And so we want a reality that makes anything that was bad turn good again, and to be corrected, and that the good things that are still a part of those societies and ideas will still be around to correct any of the wrongdoings that those societies have caused. So we're not worried about what is good, we're more worried about what was bad. And so now that's healed, and now all that's left is good. Your form of what you feel is good for your reality. So you're in a realm and a reality that is peaceful for you in the way you want peace in. I have my peaceful reality, and it may be different than yours. That will be for me and will be around me, and we may not be of the same tribe, but if we are thinking in the same way, or if we are part of the same piece, it'll come together and we'll meet again, or we'll still be able to communicate back and forth. We'll just be in a different life of awareness than maybe each other is, and that's okay. We don't have to be exactly the same for our dreams to come true equally or differently. It's fine. You desire happiness the way that you desire happiness, and I'm okay with that. And I have happiness in the way I require happiness, and you're okay with that for me, I hope, because I'm okay with you for your life. As long as we're not influencing and messing with each other's life of happiness, which that's not what we're doing, because we both want the happiness the other requires for whatever the reasons are. And then we'll be wherever we are with the people that vibrate our way of life. But we helped each other get there. So that allows a connection, a bond of healing for both of us, for whatever we need healing for, even if we don't know that healing is needed, and insight. So there you go. That's how that works. So I bless you all in that. Focus on that desire. You get those things. You get the things in your life. They're put into the new form of house that you have always wanted. You are in that room. You're in that atmosphere. This is your home. This is not someone else's. This is your land, not someone else's. If you want to share it with others, you will, but it's going to be your way to have it. And others have their own land. There is tons of land for this earth. This earth is expanding. It's opening up more land for people, more than what we thought. And we've been trying to compartmentalize the land, but there's more land than we've been shown. This earth has been stretched out for us more and more. We can do that. We've been trying to be seen like we're small little creatures, but we can be really tall or really the right size that we're meant to be. So we're okay, and so is everybody else. So there you go. We're tall, we're amazing, we're powerful, and we're great. We're getting taller, and whatever we require, we can be whatever size we need to be. That is how amazing we are. We're not small, we're not short, we're tall, and we're amazing. We're great individual beings. So we are awesome. You're awesome. You're amazing. You have a good heart and you have a good soul. Because that's what you want, right? If you don't want that, then go for what you do want. Be the soul you want to be. And let me be the soul I want to be. And that is what we are. And regardless whether you don't want to let or don't let others, then you're not letting yourself. And I don't want that for you. And you don't want that for you, because that will keep you from becoming more than what you really can be, than what you really would like to be. So you're free. I free you. I bless you. And I care about you with my heart to yours. And I wake you up from your higher self to my higher self, even if the higher self is the same, and we are now awake and we're aware. But we're still individual beings. We always will be that individual being we want to be. But we're going to be the other higher form as well. We're just going to have more abilities because we're going to be in the moment. So we manifest this now. All of that focus is real. We have the game zone in our house that we want the way that it is. If we want a game zone or area, we have a place where we can fight or do certain things the way we need to. It's all good. We're all amazing. We're all good. We're all taken care of. We're all safe and we're all powerful. I bless you. I thank you. And take care. And just know you're amazing.